Look, there is Bartolomeu Dias. Bartolomeu Dias, the Portuguese sea captain and explorer. But he's not looking out to sea, curiously enough. What's that he got in his hand? He's got his hand on, whatever you call it, that steering wheel thing. I don't know what they call it on ships. And here's his name, 1487, when he reached the Cape of Good Hope. But he was calling it Cabo das Tormentas, as in the Cape of Storms. But King João, Portugal, said, no, then nobody will want to go there. So as a public relations exercise, we'll rechristen it Cabo da Boa Esperança, as in the Cape of Good Hope. And that's why it's the Cape, from the Portuguese Cabo. So he's born around the equator of the 1400s in a seafaring family. And one of his forebears had discovered the Cape Verde Islands in 1445. I think it's not that far from Europe, not that far off the coast of Africa, and yet Europeans didn't even know that Cape Verde existed till then. These days, the Cape Verdeans want their country to be called Cabo Verde, even in English. Use a Portuguese language name. But there he is. Okay. And so he sailed south, and he got here in 1487. He left these sort of stele at significant points where they landed all along the west coast of Africa. And then I'm not sure how he twigged that this is the southernmost part of Africa. And then he left one of those sort of stone pillars here. Don't know if the original exists, but there is something to mark roughly the spot. So he'd gone with, I think it's 3 ships, only one of them made it this far south. And he was able to meet up with us going back to up past Angola. He was married, had children, and his grandson indeed was governor of Portuguese Angola. And look, they've even stolen the letters off here. I can see obviously it says do governo português a something da África do Sul, okay, from the government of Portugal to the something of South Africa. And what else does it say? You can see where the letters used to be, but the rest of it I can't make out. Right, so that's it, very significant. And obviously they're Portuguese South Africans to this day, not very many. I mean, none of them descended from here because they didn't want to stay permanently. And look, even the street is called Herengracht, as in like Masters. It's not street. I'm trying to think what gracht would be. Is it more like lane? Because remember Rozengracht in Amsterdam. There's a place called Amsterdam. So some of the toponyms allude to the European heritage of the city. I'm surprised this hasn't been a victim of the BLM movement, this statue. But he didn't try and control the place. But the Portuguese came here to take on provisions on their voyages to the Far East after that. But the South Africans of Portuguese stock are usually descended from Portuguese people who settled in neighbouring Angola and Mozambique. And then, so the Portuguese were very different colonizers in that they never had a color bar, considered it entirely acceptable to have interracial marriage. People of any color could be Portuguese so long as they were literate in Portuguese and practiced Catholicism. Right, I'll switch it off now. Here I am right in the center of Cape Town, one of the main streets. Is it Water Sisulu? Or Water Sisulu is that way. I'm just come on to Herengracht. Okay, that's enough. Toodaloo.